right, for this section, we were defining a bunch of things, and I've already typed up the definitions, so it's easier to talk about them this way. So identity element. The identity element for a set in an operation, you've thought about for a long time whether you've defined it this way or not. For addition, the identity element is 0. Multiplication and division, the identity element is 1. And so an identity element is one that when we use the element and the operation, the other value remains unchanged. So anything plus 0 is of course going to be whatever that thing was. So that's an identity element. In a Cayley table, we're going to have the row and the column match, because to be the identity element, it has to have both the left and right identity. So we use the letter E to represent the identity element. So E star X has to be equal to X star E, and we have to get X back. So if we look back at this previous example, notice in this column with 0 that our B value was 0, and going down the column we get 0, 1, 2, 3. So we might think that 0 is the identity, but looking across the row, when A is 0, we don't get 0, 1, 2, 3. So we can say that 0 is a right side identity, but it's not a left side identity. So in other words, A star 0 equals A, but 0 star B does not equal B. So in this case, only the right side identity works. So you have to think about this if your operation is not commutative. Commutative, of course, is the property that the order doesn't matter for the operation. So X star Y is the same as Y star X. So in a Cayley table, we're going to have symmetry around our leading diagonal. This is important. This is important for you to know. Inverse element, just like an inverse function, this is going to produce the identity element when combined with the element from the set. So if X star Y equals Y star X equals the identity, then Y is the inverse of X, and we use our standard notation, X to the power negative 1. So this denotes inverse, not 1 over X. All right, self-inverse. This one is pretty obvious. It's if X star X gives you the identity. Associative property, hopefully you know this one. Addition of parentheses doesn't change. And then distributive property lets us expand around brackets. So X star Y blob Z is the same as X star Y blob X star Z.